What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I'm doing The Pit. This is a new show that's available on Max. These first two episodes, and these are my thoughts. It does have audio description, um, so we'll jump into that a little bit. So The Pit is a medical drama that it's a medical drama. Honestly, it just kind of feels like that's it. Like it's a medical drama that's set in Pittsburgh. It's a hospital. It's set in the ER. Hello, Noah Wiley. Um, it's underfunded, like most medical dramas are that are not like Dr. Odyssey on a cruise ship. Um, and it talks about, the staffing shortages, and it also, because it's post-pandemic, absolutely will address the pandemic and sort of what that was like for them. And it definitely has flashbacks to the pandemic that are in the first two episodes, but it's not pandemic set. It's post-pandemic. There isn't really a twist here. It's not like everybody turns into zombies or something. To compare, when I'm saying like a twist, um, if you look at the two shows that started this year that are both medical dramas, Brilliant Minds and Dr. Odyssey, obviously the difference, Brilliant Minds is about a doctor who's face blind, and Dr. Odyssey is about a doctor on a cruise ship. Even St. Denis Medical, if you want to count that, is a comedy. Like it's taking the approach from that angle. It's a half hour. So everything is sort of answered the question of what is that we're doing differently than before. And there's something about how way back in the day before we had streaming services, we had premium cable and people paid for HBO because the stuff on network television wasn't appealing to them. Even though some of that stuff was critically acclaimed in the days of shows like ER, which Noah Wiley came from, um, as well as, well-reviewed shows like NYPD Blue for cop dramas. I mean, it's not like network television was void of entertainment, but there were people who found that entertainment to still not be on the level that they were looking for. So they were paying HBO for what they perceived to be higher quality content so they could get shows like Oz, The Sopranos, The Wire, Sex in the City. They got edgier content. They got content that was produced and shot differently and had a different perspective. So Oz felt like a different kind of prison drama. The Wire felt like a different kind of cop drama. These felt like films in their nature. It really sort of started, and that's why HBO started winning so many Emmys and getting so many Emmy nominations, is because what they were doing, their approach to making that was different. So to see Max essentially embracing what could have easily been a network television show is odd. It's like we've come 360. What once was premium is now basic. And for a streaming service that just had The Penguin and Dune Prophecy, two shows that were costly and got a lot of buzz and attention around them, as well as a bunch of other shows last year, from critically acclaimed shows like Hacks to House of the Dragon. They're also currently still airing new episodes of Bookie. They play around with a lot of DC properties with stuff like Creature Commandos and Kite Man. Hell yeah, I mean, like they kind of felt like you were getting something different. This feels not like that. And to be fair, I think Netflix is doing a little bit of this too. They've kind of started peeling off from Virgin River and Virgin River adjacent type programming to these shows that feel like they could have been playing on Hallmark. Like they're trying to pull that audience. So I haven't reviewed it yet, but I have started to watch On Call, which is on Amazon. It's kind of the same thing. Amazon is trying to play to a very basic audience. It's trying to get that audience in there. It's trying to say, hey, look, we worked with Dick Wolf, you know. So there will be people who enjoy The Pit because they just watch medical dramas, because they're already watching Brilliant Minds, and they watch Dr. Odyssey, and they watch Grey's Anatomy religiously, and they watch only Chicago Med. And they're always annoyed at the crossovers because they won't watch Chicago Fire or Chicago PD. They're upset that The Resident is no longer on, or New Amsterdam, all of the recent medical dramas. Like, those people are all going to be all over The Pit because they just watch medical dramas. And that's kind of what this feels like it's for, because it's not the first medical drama set in Pittsburgh. They didn't even pick like a random city. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like, has anybody done Des Moines? I mean, if you're just gonna why not pick a different area of the country? At least make it interesting that way. What's it like in blank? Has anybody done a show there? Pick a place where we haven't had a medical drama. Nashville Medical. I don't know if there's been a medical drama in Nashville, but that'd be interesting, at least. It's a big city. It's a major city. It's capital. So, yeah, I don't see what this show's trying to do differently. I think literally its hook is the doctors are depressed. They're depressed because they can't save their patients, because they're underfunded and people die in the waiting room, and they're still reeling from the pandemic and the things that they lost during the pandemic years later. So, okay, but at the same time, I don't know that this is enough. And it certainly doesn't feel enough for Max. It doesn't feel like a Max show. And I kind of wonder if more and more streamers aren't going to continue to make programming like this. Just sort of more generic programming, especially the ones that aren't getting a direct pipeline from a network. Like, Paramount is inheriting CBS content. Hulu's getting ABC's content. Peacock gets NBC's content. Actually, Hulu also gets Fox content. So those three streamers are less inclined to make more new content that feels like the content they're getting from the network televisions. But Netflix, Apple, Amazon, they all could start doing this. And it could be a weird trend where suddenly the stuff that once you were paying premium prices for is stuff that we once got for free over the air. For people who were looking for a return to form for Noah Wyle, you got it. This is not that far removed from ER. But if you were hoping to get the bang for your buck out of HBO, I don't know that you are. I think they hired fine writers. I think the show is okay. I'm going to give it maybe like another episode, but there's so many shows airing now that to sit through just another procedural medical or cop show with no hook or a cast that grabs me, it's just Noah Wyle here. Like, I looked through the cast, I was like, there's no one else here that I'm like excited about. It's a whole bunch of fresh faces. Good for them. If this show is a hit, it could make somebody a star. And if I stuck with it long enough, I might find somebody who I would end up liking. But it's got to grab me. It's got to pull me in first. And it's just not, it isn't doing it for me. So, there are a couple like interesting plot points. There's a new student doctor there who is the daughter of two people who already work there. And of course, and she's very young to be a student doctor also. She's like 20, which means she's basically a prodigy, because in order to get to an education, a level, wherever she is, she had to get there fast. And she's already starting, and she's like, yes, I deserve to be here, and from that regard, I kind of look at her and I'm like, I would love to see her story, but she's not the lead, I'd love to see the more centered approach on a character that is the daughter of two doctors who work at the hospital, or two people who work at the hospital, that she's now training at, you know? That seems to me like she's a more interesting protagonist, but that she's not because Noah Wiley is. Anyway, so yeah, uh, I don't know. Watch The Pit if you like medical shows. If you're somebody who doesn't frequently like medical shows, I don't think there's anything here for you. Um, if you're looking for like your special magic medical drama, I just don't think this isn't like The Good Doctor where it's just like, okay, well, I see your hook. You know, this is I can't find the hook here. The audio description, I think, should have done a better job with character introductions, especially considering it has a pretty expansive ensemble. We're going to probably be with them for a while, or well, you will be. I probably won't be, but somebody will be. Um, and they're going to be in multiple episodes. So, like, can we get to know them? Is that a bad thing? Please, you know, to get to know these characters. Anyway, like, what do they look like? What's the diversity? You know, like that kind of thing. And I feel like so many audio description tracks just ignore that. Um, and it like it's hard to pick it up later on. You know, if you don't do it at the beginning, when are you going to do it? Like season 2, episode 13, we're going to finally learn who Dr. Jones is, you know? We're going to be like, oh, wow. Finally got that audio description in there because they, you know, like, are you going to keep evolving the characters as the season progresses and we're going to learn like little tidbits about them? Um, I mean, I've seen that. The Lincoln Lawyer does that all the time. The Lincoln Lawyer still continues to give detailed character description about the lead, despite the fact that they're in season 3. And they keep describing Mickey and like his like how he actually looks, like his hair and his beard and stuff like that, and stuff that, you know, you're like, well, I feel like we should know this, but okay, you know. And I don't mind that, but I don't think that's going to happen here. So um those are my thoughts on The Pit. I'm going to give The Pit a B minus. I think it's fine. I think it's good, not great. I think it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you should like run from it. But it might just be very, very average. Or maybe the max of it all is that it's just a tinge above average. You know, they have a little bit higher budget. So it looks a little bit better, or they got a slightly better set of writers, and it's going to pay off in the long run. I don't know, but anyway, check it out if you want. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys on the other side.